Greetings and salutations, everyone. Good to see you. It is a foggy, dreary day out there, but it's not snowy. I would have liked to have had more snow, but I can handle not having a lot of really heavy winter weather this year. I think we've all been punished enough the last couple of years. So there are several things coming up and several things I want to talk about today. The first and most interesting, I think, is that we have Burka coming up. It's been a while since we've done Burka. Sorry, trying to do. There we go. Burka is our big SCA event. It is, you are required to have a costume going in the door. However, if you do not have a costume of your own, which is pre-1600s, there is a place called Gold Key. You can borrow an outfit. It costs nothing extra to borrow that outfit, so you can give it a try, see if you like it. And that is on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, January 27th through the 29th, and that's at I think it's the Golden Tree now. Blah, blah, blah. Let me double check because oh no, I didn't write it down. Of course I didn't write it down. It's the Double Tree, not Golden Tree. What used to be the Radisson in downtown Manchester. And it's huge. Burka historically was a very large Viking market that people would go to trade and sell and such. And it's an excavated site. If you go to, it's either Norway or Sweden, I apologize, I'm terrible. Like, my brain just kind of goes, it's the Norse lands, and jams them all together. And I know they're not really all the same at all in any way, shape, or form, but that's what my brain does because I live here across the pond. So anyway, somewhere up in the Norse lands is the actual Burka site, and you can actually go walk on site. They have a museum. You can learn all about it. They have reenactors there during the summer months so that you can go and learn by experiencing, and it's supposed to be a ton of fun. I would love to go one of these days. Might be Norway. Could be Norway. Again, one of those up northy kind of places. I will be at Burka on the Saturday. That's the 28th. I am not vending. I am not doing heraldry. I am not doing anything. I will be attending and hanging out and being with friends and relaxing, because when I started in the SCA, my very first Burka, I went and none of my friends were available to go. And then at the last minute, Roberta came and went with me, and it was just me and her, and we wandered, and I got introduced to a ton of people and had so much fun. But the next year, by the time that rolled around, I was the head herald. Well, I was actually the assistant herald at that time, and then very quickly after that, I was the head herald. And I really hit the ground running, and I have not been to Burka just to go since then. So yeah, this is going to be a new experience for me, and one I am going to embrace. I will be there. If you want books signed, I will happily do so. And I believe that Auntie Arwen's Spices might be selling my book. So you can go there, and if a bunch of people want, I'll arrange a time to go over there and meet you guys and pawn off some of her spices on you and sign books. I'm always happy to do that. So it's 2023. We survived New Year, and it's fresh and clean. It's like a clean notebook. Nothing has been written in it yet. There are no mistakes. Don't look at the news. Close the browser window. Pretend that stuff doesn't exist. We're here. We're talking writing, okay? Not out there. Trying not to think about out there. New year, new habits, new things to do. And I have said it before, I am not here this year to do resolutions. I don't do New Year's resolutions for a variety of reasons. My brain has this horrible tendency. I make a resolution and I'll say something like, I'm going to write every day. And then I don't write one day. That's it. The resolution's broken. So why would I continue? My brain does bad things to me. It's part of having an abusive upbringing. Anyway, instead, I made myself some promises. And one was that I would stop doom scrolling quite so much on Facebook and that I would actually start working on writing again in a serious fashion. And indeed, I have. I'm actually really excited. I got really fired up when I got home after my New Year's celebrations. I came home on the 2nd in the morning, and I sat down and I started writing and discovered that I currently have 13 chapters in my van life cookbook. There might be one chapter more added at the end. I haven't decided yet. But of those 13 chapters, 9 of them are complete. I'm done. I mean, they still have to be edited and checked for grammar and spelling and such. But I mean, the writing stuff, it's all complete. All of the text and the recipes and everything is all done. And most of the test cooking is done. That leaves me with just 4 chapters that I have to finish up. And of those 4, the 2 of them are mostly done and 2 of them need a lot of work. But I have managed to pull energy out of somewhere and have been working my butt off. And I'm very pleased with the progress that I have made. I believe, knock on wood, I believe that I will be completed the first draft of the cookbook by the end of next week. That would be by Friday, the 13th. That's an auspicious date to pick to finish the first draft, but maybe we'll aim for the 12th and not tempt fate. But regardless, I'm excited. I actually think I might be able to pull this off and get this all done and have it ready to go to a publisher. Now, when it comes to publishing, I've had nibbles from a couple, and I will be reaching out to them saying, hey, look, here's the finished product. Do you guys want to take a look at it? If I don't hear anything back and don't get some really positive 100% news by like the beginning of March, my expectation is that I will move forward with self-publishing. And it will come out in the same way that the Re-Enactor's cookbook came out, and it's doing okay. So, I guess we're good. I will attempt to market it to places like Cabela's and Bass Pro, but if they choose not to carry it, well, their loss. After I'm done the cookbook, and understand that when I say done, I mean done. I've got the first draft almost finished. After that's done, I have to go through, I have to make sure I have tested every single recipe. And there are a couple in there that I have not. So once those recipes have been all tested and I've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb and checked for my grammar, my spelling, make sure I haven't, written you or anything like that. Once that's all complete, it'll go to somebody else for a once-over and a line editing. Because it's not fiction, it's content editing isn't really as big of a deal. Mostly it's just for continuity and make sure I don't have, chicken noodle soup in 2 different places or something silly like that. And then once that's all done, I'm having professional photographs done for the interior. Now, these photographs are not going to be in color, people, okay? Because that pushes the cost of the cookbook so high that I don't think people will buy it. I really don't. I want this to be a soft cover because I want it to be something that anybody can put in their van or their tiny home, and it doesn't take up space. There will be a Kindle version for the same reason. And I'm really excited to get that finished for you guys because I think you'll like the recipes. it's been hard paring my recipes down to small amounts that feed 1 or 2 rather than 12 or 125 like I usually do. It's a lot harder cooking small than I thought it would. I really appreciate all those people who are doing van life out there. And unfortunately, throughout the rest of January, I have a really tough nut to crack here. I have not test run all of the dessert recipes. Yes, there is an entire chapter with 15 single or double serving recipes for cookies and cakes and breads. Little tiny recipes for 1 or 2 people. And unfortunately, I'm going to be forced to test drive those. Isn't that horrible? Like my Re-Enactor's cookbook, there are a number of recipes in here that translate very well to vegan or vegetarian. And there's a lot of stuff for the meat eaters as well. So I think it will be enjoyable for everyone. Once all of that is done, which, like I said, hopefully will be by March, I'll pass it off to the people who are doing the formatting and whatnot, and I'll move on with editing the next and last Taylor Mange novel. And you'll get to, hopefully by October, again, knock on wood, we'll get to talk, or not talk, but read the last installment on Alexandra Taylor's story. I think you guys are going to like it. I'm quite pleased with it. There are some bits that I have to go back and fix because there were some parts that were a little off. But I'm pleased with the way the story came together. It's a little different from the other 2 novels, and I like that. It gives me some other ideas for following through with other stories in the same world. So we'll see what happens with that. Right. What else was I doing? Let's see, 2023. So I had hoped to go to the Vermont Winter Renaissance Fair, but it does not look like I'm going to make it to that. Between weather and money and a number of other things, I just don't think I can make it out to Vermont because it's way north Vermont. However, I will, of course, be at the New Hampshire Renaissance Fair. I will be both vending and volunteering, so it should be interesting. I will be at the New Hampshire Ren Fair is May 13th and 14th, 20th and 21st. So that's the 2nd and 3rd weekends of May. I will be at the Cape Cod Pirate Festival again this year in Yarmouth, Mass, at the Yarmouth Fairgrounds. And that's the 1st and 2nd weekend of June 3rd and 4th, 10th and 11th. I will be at the Vermont Renaissance Fair, the summer one, which is June 24th and 25th. That's in Stowe, Vermont. I will be at the Maine Renaissance Fair at the Acton Fairgrounds once more. And that is the last 2 weekends of July, the 22nd and 23rd, and the 29th and 30th. I am hoping to make it to the Vermont Living History Expo because I had such a good time the first year. And that's September 23rd and 24th. I am waiting to find out what's happening with the Massachusetts Ren Fair. There are questions about what's been going on behind the scenes, and I believe they've been working very hard to straighten things out, and I have confidence in them, but I have already committed to the Maine, so if there's overlap, I will be at Maine and not at Massachusetts because they haven't solidified their dates yet. Sorry, guys. If they go 2 weekends, the likelihood I will make it for at least one, but I'm hoping that they go into like the 1st and 2nd weekend of August, so that I can go to both weekends if they do it 2 weekends, because they may or may not. We'll see what happens. There are other events coming. I will probably do 1 or 2 library events this summer. Maybe some during the spring. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping to do some collaboration with Monadnock Oil and Vinegar because they are awesome and carry my book. If you haven't seen them, they are both in Peterborough and in Milford. I think the other one is in Milford. I don't have the address here. But if you go to their website, which I link in the text below, you can go and check out their website. I highly recommend going to their stores. They're really good. I am collaborating to do recipes for them using their spices and their oils and vinegars. So we'll see what happens there. I'm excited about that. That's a collaboration that I'm going to love. Beyond that, I think that's about it. Next week from, let's see, it'll be the 11th of January, straight through to the end of February, Wednesdays, I'm going to be talking to you about editing. And part of that is because I will indeed be editing my own work. And part of it is because I know a lot of you were involved with NaNoWriMo and have a finished or semi-finished product. And you need to understand that finishing the draft does not mean that your book is done. Editing has to be done. If you're like me and you can't afford to pay somebody to edit it, it leaves you with a few options. And we're going to talk about those and talk about how to edit yourself, what to expect from an outside editor, and what exactly they're doing with all the different kinds of editing. You know, what's the difference between a line editor and a content editor and a continuity editor and all that other stuff. So yeah, I think that's where we're at. You guys have yourself a great week. I will see you next Wednesday, and bring your work. We're going to be editing. Okay. You guys have yourself a great week. I love you. And don't forget to like and subscribe.